Welcome back to NABShow Live. I'm Alex Lindsay here with Leslie
Samuel.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Good to have you back.
Enjoying the show so far?
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
No one's died.
No one's died.
That's usually a good show.
That's always a good thing.
Nothing's fallen down. It's all good.
And we have a cool job because we get some people coming in with some very interesting technology.
I used to have to walk out there and do it all myself, and now
they
people
come
just come to us.
I love it, and we have
Mark Anderson from G Technology.
That's right. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
thanks for being here.
Of
so
course.
we see you have an interesting device here.
I have an interesting little device here. This is our new G-Drive EV ATC or all-terrain case.
And if you could set that down right, just set it like that.
Right there,
right
just
there.
like that.
Yep.
Except I'm going to want to play with it for a bit.
That's fine. That's your
So,
good area.
That's my good area. All right.
So
well, it's a good product for a good area. So
all right.
The great part about this is it's an outgrowth of our Evolution series of drives,
Okay.
Right.
which is a workflow solution. It's all about making workflows simpler, better, more efficient.
Right.
To end up saving time and money for productions.
Okay.
So it uses that same EV drive that we have as part of the dock. It connects via SATA into our G dock, which is Thunderbolt based, or into this as well.
Which is great. There's been some other people that have been using the SATA, docking system, but the problem was there was no other way. You needed another dock to tie them in.
Correct.
So what's nice about this is that you have a USB 3, right? A
Correct.
USB 3 connection.
Correct.
So you could just use that drive on its own.
You can. It's and that is part of the great part of the system is all of the drive modules themselves are also standalone bus powered drives on their own.
Okay.
Right.
And there are multiple flavors of the drives. This adds to that story. The others are aluminum. This one we've actually taken and made the case out of a polycarbonate, which has taken 35% of the weight out.
Oh, nice. So
Still,
it's lighter.
It's lighter, and it's still the same 1 terabyte, 7,200 RPM drive inside that'll do 136 megabytes per second.
Right.
And again, and being part of HGST, we're the only ones who have a 2.5-inch, 1 terabyte, 7,200 RPM drive. So we're about 23% faster than the competition in their 1 terabyte spinning 2.5-inch solutions.
Now this looks like a very fancy case.
That looks like a very fancy case.
Tell me a little bit about the case.
Not only does it look like a fancy case, it is a
It
fancy
is
case.
a
fancy case. It is.
Does it sing? What does it do?
Well, it might. At least it helps you keep your data when you do sing and you record it. The great part about the case, I put the drive in. It is now completely sealed inside.
Okay.
Right.
But I can
And it's
still,
water
It is.
tight.
It does provide. It provides dust protection, water protection, shock protection, and pressure protection.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So this will float in water.
Okay.
It will. Right now, we're saying we're rating it for a 1 foot underwater for 30 seconds with no water entry.
Okay.
We're actually down the road going for a much better rating than that, a mil-spec rating.
Right.
It is dust proof. It takes the shock resistance of the drives up to 2 meters.
So I can drop it from 2 meters.
You can drop it from 2 meters, no issue.
Okay.
But also pressure protection. 1,000 pounds of real pressure, which means
Oh, wow.
you can run it over with a 2-ton car.
Did you try doing that?
I have actually. It's not this particular unit, but actually my personal unit was run over. There's a video on YouTube of a Jeep Cherokee running over. Keycode Media did it actually. I was
Nice.
there with them for a meeting. And they said, "Hey, can we do a video for social media?" I said, "Sure." And they said, "Okay, give me your drive."
And can you do that while capturing video?
We didn't do it. You probably
could.
It's kind of a short cable, but
Now that's a Thunderbolt?
this version has a tethered Thunderbolt cable.
So
Right.
Thunderbolt and
And
USB 3.
We have a USB 3 version as well.
Okay.
So it's available in either flavor depending on what you need.
Okay, so you buy them separate. Is it the case that you're buying separately that's either USB 3 or Thunderbolt?
As it is currently, it's a bundle with the drive in the case, at least in the Thunderbolt version.
Okay.
And it retails for $229.
Oh.
We have, and then the drive inside itself, that EV raw drive is what we're calling it, the polycarbonate version is $129.
Okay.
But then we also have a USB, the USB 3 version will be shipping later this month. You'll be able to buy either the case on its own or with a drive. And with the drive, it'll sell for $179. And the case on its own for $79.
And 179, how much space are you getting with that?
1 terabyte.
1 terabyte.
1 terabyte,
Wow.
7,200 RPM, 2.5-inch drive. It'll do about 136 megabytes per second, whether you're on USB 3 or Thunderbolt.
Right. And the great thing here is that I do a lot of stuff in the field, and you get into a situation where I may not want to carry that around all the time.
Yeah.
But so being able to have a bunch of those drives, like for instance, I know I'm going to have what typically happens is we're going to go out into the field and we're going to have. I know that I need 5 terabytes of capture.
Yep.
But what I end up with is 5 big like big rugged drives that now are taking up a ton of space. Whereas now I can take those 5 drives and put them in a little pack and set them there, and then as we pull them out into the field, I might have 1 or 2 of these that we're slotting them into, capturing what we need to do, and moving on.
Absolutely, and add to the factor that it also makes it more cost effective that way too, because the individual drives inside are much less expensive than the competition's rugged drives.
Well, and this is a lot more than a rugged drive. I mean, this is a lot more than a basic rugged drive. This is this is something that is really, again, I drop it. You know, I've done a fair number of shoots on boats. So far, I haven't dropped anything into the water.
But it happens.
But if you were to, with this,
you'd be fine.
Exactly, it would float. I thought that was a really interesting feature that of having it, that I drop it in and then we can go fish it out. You know, and I'm not diving to try to find it.
And the great thing is, it works with all of our current EV drives that are in this form factor as well. So if you already own our G Drive EV or our EV SSD, which both use this form factor, you can buy the case, that USB case on its own, and still.
And how much did you say the USB case was on
its
own? The
USB case on its own is $79.
That's great. And do you have flash options as well that can go into that?
We have an SSD. It's a 512 gig SSD. It retails for $499.
Yep.
Currently, and down the road we may offer some more.
That's great.
Awesome.
Fantastic. Is that your big? That's the thing you're showing here today?
We do have a couple other great products. We have our G-Raid. We've revised a bit. The newest generation, we have dual Thunderbolt 2 and USB 3 on it, and we have a USB 3 on its own version. For some more value, still fantastic performance. Either one of those, especially in the 12 terabyte configuration, is actually the fastest. It'll do over 400 megabytes a second.
Oh wow,
that's great.
It's dual drives. It's using the HGSC UltraStar enterprise class drives. They're removable. It's RAID configurable, so it ships in RAID 0. So the drives, so you're getting that performance. You can also have it mirror the drives if you'd rather protection.
Okay.
And RAID 5, I assume.
It's 2 drive units, so it won't do RAID 5.
Oh, no, RAID 5, sorry, it's only 2 drive, okay.
Awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
And of course, we're also showing our 8-bay G-Speed Studio XL that we launched at IBC last year.
And that one goes up to
64 terabytes.
Wow.
And it's pretty awesome because not only do you get that capacity, but you get incredible performance, especially because we're using those same HGSC UltraStar, the enterprise class drives that are designed to be used in a RAID array. So we see about 1,100 megabytes per second in RAID 5, over 1,300 megabytes per second in RAID 0. It'll essentially saturate Thunderbolt 2 in RAID 0.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the price point is insane. It's $69.99 for 64 terabytes. Yeah, and they start at $35.99 for 24 terabytes.
I could do a lot with 64 terabytes.
You can do a whole lot with 64 terabytes.
That would last me like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He does a lot.
We like you. We like you a lot.
Yeah, we have a lot of your drives.
That's awesome. And the great thing is, it uses the same drive modules. All of our new removable products use the same drive modules. So that 64 terabyte unit uses the same 8 terabyte drives as the 16 terabyte version of that new G-Raid with Thunderbolt.
That's fantastic.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah. Great. Mark Anderson.
Yes.
G Technology. Where is the booth?
South Hall Lower, 12705.
12705.
And if they want to check you out online, they can go to
www.g-technology.com.
g-technology.com. Thank you for joining us.
You got it.
Mark.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Leslie. Thanks for watching. We'll be right back. This is the NAB Show Live.